where real life meets real talk, right here in the city of Las Vegas, the city of illusions. I am Nipa Rao.
And I'm Renee Pinkerman.
And we are here today with two extraordinary people who have an exciting story to tell us about their lives in the circus arts, where they have literally been jumping hoops from the world stage right here into the community of Las Vegas. Please meet Lisanna, Vazquez and Adam Vazquez. Thank you guys for joining us in the studio today.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Welcome.
So let's start from the basics. When people ask you, what is it that you do? What exactly do you tell them?
We are artists. We have been performing artists almost our whole life. I was in gymnastics for 20 years and then got into circus arts and performed that for another 15 years.
So let's define circus arts, because from a definition point of view.
People say circus, they think elephants,
yes,
and tents and clowns, perhaps, and acrobatics. So we're that part. We are the acrobatic part. Often when they ask me, what do I do for a living, or how can I explain, I kind of start off with a joke and I say, I hold another man's hands for horses, animals, elephants, or nowadays they like to say a lot, like Cirque du Soleil,
Absolutely.
So.
And for you, you said you've done a lot of stuff with gymnastics. So is that your entry point into circus?
Right, like Adam was saying, we're more of the acrobatic side. In his family, there have been acts with animals, and they still do some acts with horses. But for us, we are more on the acrobatic side. So where he holds a man's hands, I climb things.
Absolutely.
What was your childhood like?
Right. So 4 generations, meaning my great-grandfather from the 1800s. Both of my parents on my father's side. Both of my grandparents on my mother's side, and I grew up not having to travel too much. I grew up a lot of the time in Mexico City as a child, so I was actually put into school, and my uncle, my dad's brother, they have a circus that's been running for quite some time.
In Mexico City?
In Mexico City at that time.
Okay.
So I would be able to go to school in the daytime, and then the rest of the day I would run off to the circus to see all my relatives, where they had the giraffes and all the animals you can think of in a tent, and the flying trapeze and everything.
Also,
my parents had an animal act at the time, and my mom used to do a hair hang act. So she literally would get pulled up by her hair and a big beautiful dress and juggle in the air. And my brother was a speed juggler, a very famous speed juggler.
So a lot of movement,
so we were always going and I was a circus kid at school type of thing.
I would still have makeup in the corner of his eyes and sleepy at school.
Yeah. About 8-9 years old, we moved back to the States, and I lived with my older brother. And my older brother is, in my point of view, one of the most amazing circus artists of our time. He's an amazing juggler and an artist, meaning that he gave it all, all his heart was left on stage, show after show. He performed in the circus, on the cruise ships, at the big, beautiful red carpet galas, everywhere, all over the world.
So what about you? I mean, was your family always supportive of this part? Because for him, he grew up in a circus background.
Right.
For you obviously was somebody your brother you said was a gymnast, and you wanted to follow his path. Was the family supportive of it?
When we were kids, he was a gymnast. He grew up to be a scientist. So, my parents a neuroscientist running a lab at a university. So my parents were super happy about that. And I climb things like this. No, but they've always been supportive. My mother, of course, always said, I would like for you to get your degree in some capacity, which I was able to do through gymnastics. So because I got a full ride scholarship, I did gymnastics along with earning my degree. And when I got into circus, I think my parents knew me well enough to know that I was the type of person who would try to succeed and work hard in whatever I would do, and so they were always a great support system.
So where did you do your education?
At Northern Illinois University, yeah.
So did you grow up in Illinois?
No, I grew up in Minnesota, so I'm a Midwest girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I grew up in Minnesota, and then I had a couple of offers to different schools, and I decided on Illinois, and it was, you know, hour west of Chicago, so like the suburbs of Chicago. And I was there for 5 years. My 5th year, I did a assistant coach for the gymnastics team and received my degree in graphic design, which I still use. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
But her parents were right. I think anything she really would want to do in her life, she would be successful at. She would succeed.
What did your parents do? Just for
My
context.
parents,
Yeah.
so
Just
yes,
for
context. My parents, I would call them intellectuals. So they were in the Peace Corps. They met in the Peace Corps.
right.
They got married in Bolivia. My mother's from Colorado. My dad grew up in LA. And my mother was a professor of German. So she has her PhD, doctor. She had the title of doctor. And my dad was a journalist, writer, photographer. I mean, intellectuals. They were highly educated. And my brother apparently got all of this. It wasn't until after I did gymnastics, after I graduated from college, that I was in San Diego at the time, and I started seeing aerial silks and people working on these more circus type acts. And at that point, gymnastics had finished, right? I had already received my scholarship, I graduated from school, so what was next for me as far as something kinetic?
This international movement in terms of all the Cirque du Soleil, Ka, Toro, when did that happen?
That happened when I first moved to Vegas. So I was in San Diego at the time working at SeaWorld, moved to Vegas to be closer to him and also see what career opportunities there were here for me. And my first contract was hired from Cirque du Soleil to perform at this light nightclub at Mandalay Bay. This was then auditioned for a touring show with Cirque du Soleil, which was the Tarouk show based on the movie Avatar.
Okay.
So that was a huge part of my career because it was a 4-year world tour and I was able to see the world. So in the 4 years, I was able to see 27 countries, 110 cities.
Wow.
Yeah.
They packed the whole show, they put away the show, they traveled to the next country.
Yeah.
It was really incredible. And visiting her in the show I was always just shocked how.
Can you take us through a day in one of those international tours of yours?
I was 100% in it. When you're on tour, that's your life. From the moment you wake up, okay, what do I need to do today? Normally you would have breakfast in your hotel room, you go to the venue, which there's a bus normally from the hotel to the venue. And there's trainings usually, either someone needs to work on a new trick or someone needs to get integrated into an act. So you have your trainings, and then after your trainings you start your makeup, and then you have the 2 shows.
One of the times that I had a chance to visit her, I think it was, maybe was it in London? Anyway,
You visited me a
she
few
asked for permission for me to basically follow her the whole day. So, you know, I get there the night before, it was already late, and she wakes up like 8 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, and okay, I'm getting up, she's already getting ready, and she gets in the computer, and because she was at the time also taking care of some of the acts in the show. What do
They
you
call it artist coach. So I was responsible for an act, and I would do the lineups, who's gonna do what position for that day or for the whole week, if anyone needed any adjustments or changes. So I was responsible for that communication.
I guess a lot of emails come in, and she's got to adjust things that are going to be happening through the day in the show. This is before we're in the bus already. We get in the bus, we travel to the bus, we come in, she shows me the catering, and then, okay, let's go find the costume area because it's a new city, and we're following, and I'm already exhausted at noon. And, you know, they have all these sound check, stage check,
Right, to prep for the
rigging
show.
prep, and she is, you know, in charge of some of these things that she's got to be aware of to make sure everything is safe also. And so that's all leading up until before she goes and puts her makeup, which used to take I don't know, a few hours for her.
I got it down to about 45 minutes.
So
But it was completely blue with details and everything. When I first learned, it was like 2 hours.
This was the Avatar.
The Avatar, yes.
Yeah.
So I've been
all
reading
blue.
up a little bit about that
Okay.
because from the time I got to know the Toruk, I kind of was looking at some information about it and I found out that the beast is some 250-pound beast that was moving around through some what they call the reverse marionette or whatever the technical term was for it. And it seemed like a completely different kind of animal and the whole science and art around it. Can you throw a little bit light on it? Because from what I understand, it is like intense.
It was a newer type of show for Cirque du Soleil. So they had a cast of puppeteers that came in because they incorporated a lot of puppetry in it, which was new for that company. Obviously, puppetry has gone back, hundreds of years in the circus too, but for Cirque, it was a little bit new. So they had a puppetry team that would come in. We were involved in many different parts of the show. So some shows are more of, let's say, a variety act where you have act after act after act. Ours was more, let's say, an amalgamation of all of our characters woven throughout the story of these three teenagers going to meet different tribes of Na'vis throughout yes. And the Taruk was the big bird at the end, the dragon bird, whatever you like to call it, where Taruk Makto, the main character, would eventually ride that bird.
I think the impressive part too, though, is that you had it was all lifted by different cables simultaneously. Cirque du Soleil does a really good job at that. They'll take something always to a next level.
So what made you make Vegas home? What brought you to Vegas? I think he already had a base in Vegas.
Right.
What brought you all to Vegas, and how did you all decide to settle down here?
So
settling down in your life.
Right, yeah. Well, his family has been here since '94, so they've had their roots here for a long time. I was in San Diego, like I said, so when we met, I was still living in San Diego. I felt that there wasn't quite a growth opportunity for me there, and I wanted to see what Vegas would bring, and he was here, which was perfect. He said he was on the cruise ships at the time. Come, you can stay at the house, you can take care of the house, and then, we'll decide if you want to get your apartment later, you can get your apartment later. But I was, and then his mother lived across the street, so they had their homes
also in
close.
Vegas, right?
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
So because I was there, I just fell in love with his mother. So we became very close. I used to drive her to work, and she would get us coffee before she would go to work, and then I'd drop her off at work. And her and I think she gave me this motherly love that was a different style than my mother's. So it was something that
that's beautiful.
I just felt very, very close to her. And he wasn't home at the time, he was on the cruise ship. So I sort of ingrained myself into his family without him even being here, right? So his brother and his sister are both here. And so I kind of just immersed myself in their family. And I never left the house, I just stayed.
So him not being around was probably good in many ways. It became faster and more solid.
And she welcomed me with open arms. His whole family welcomed me with open arms.
Absolutely beautiful.
And I think that was also, like you said, it was good. It was great because it was very important for me that my family also. They say you get married with one person, but you're marrying the family. I don't know if it's really true, but I was really happy that my relatives, that my family took her in the way they did, because that's the way I saw her too. I wanted them to see that too.
And that's the same with South Asian families as well. Asian families, South Asian families, you marry a family.
Right.
Families. You don't just get a partner, but you also have the whole family that comes with it, on both sides. And I think therefore it becomes a larger family and a larger life. Yeah. And I think that's beautiful what you just said about, her mother being such an integral part of your life. Yeah. And that's beautiful there. Now, in terms of this whole, are you both guys still both traveling and doing acts outside, or one of you does it and one of you is more kind of based here?
Right now, more the networking, and I'm doing more of the work here, admin, teaching the classes.
And to what Renee was saying, do you miss any of that light camera action kind of environment? All the high adrenaline and the rush, do you miss any of it?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll always miss it, but you'll always have it. You know, you always have that in your heart and your memory.
We're fairly early into our actual retirement of coming off the stage. So we, of course, we still have a lot of that feeling and motion, but we're really lucky because we get to visit my family's circus, other family circus that we know very well. So we're still doing a lot of that traveling and being still very connected with all the work that we did previously.
What made you make the decision to step away from performing in the circus arts?
For me, I think, in about 2018 or 19, we had both my partner and I, we luckily, and all the hard work that we did, I felt that we were lucky to have done so many great shows in such a short period of time. At one point, within like a 2-year period of our performance, we realized how much we had done in such a short period of time. And when people, sometimes they have a lifetime and they don't get to be able to do what we were able to do. So once we got on the wagon of contract after contract after contract, I was literally living my dream at that moment. So when we were able to accomplish or do some of these shows that I felt I was really almost not even ready to do, and it was really a dream come true to have my relatives come visit, to watch these shows, to have my wife come, and I realized that I felt happy, and I felt at that moment in a heartfelt success of what I had gone through to get to that point for myself, with my also with my partner, with the loved ones around me. I had so much support from my parents, from my sister, who is also amazing and super supportive of everything I wanted to do in my lifetime as a circus artist. So I did step back early from shows because when I finished, I had just turned 40.
So
right?
I'm glad. It's interesting you're saying this. This is what I wanted to ask you, and it may sound a bit, Is there a burnout phase, and is there a phase where people actually start slowly realizing that this is it? I can't push beyond this because the rigors of the profession are so intense physically as well that you cannot take it.
Yeah.
Is there
in traditional circus, if you're staying in it with a family and you're in that trailer moving, all over the world, consistent, there's a burnout of the acrobatics you may have
the
done.
physicality.
And you move into something else, like you either become a clown, or you're working backstage, or you're helping your kids. You're helping now. You're supporting the new generation come up. So the family really sticks together every time, even though you've now stepped off the stage.
But age-wise, is there any, in both your professions, is there a kind of phase, or if you're
seen people,
physically able to do it, you continue?
I've seen people up until their middle 60s performing.
Seriously?
There's an artist in his 70s at the top of his game right now performing.
Wow. So if you can do it, that's it.
You can
do
it.
A lot of times they don't want to stop. They don't want to, and that's great. I think that when I was able to live this wonderful moments, for me it was like, okay, what else can I do more? Because there are certain dreams that you want to achieve also as an artist from traditional circus, but those weren't really my dreams. My dreams were certain things, and they kind of had come through.
You already managed to accomplish a lot of that.
I was pretty much ready to say, okay, this is great, until we had our twins, and then I started feeling that kind of like, oh, my twins, the twins are never gonna see us perform. I really want them to see me perform. Then I started praying to God again, can I maybe do one more concert? And we actually got called. I mean, the work never stopped coming. We just said we took a break, but we really were more retired. But then we actually took the contract, and we were able to take the whole family to Switzerland. The kids got to see me perform.
Yeah,
and
came to see him perform. They were 2.5 at the time.
What was their reaction? What was their reaction?
It was beautiful. Yeah, it was really beautiful. I was really lucky to go back to this wonderful show with an amazing family that runs it, and to bring the family this time. And it was actually like the cherry on the top after, to be able to go back and now do that with to me that was the point.
The next
you know,
generation.
that was
Ultimate performers to partners to parents.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Been quite a spectacular journey, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
And how delightful it might have been for you to have twins, and the ultimate. So we saw when Rennie and I were at your studio, we saw the twins roaming around, and they were already on, in the zone.
Yeah.
And so, are they already training for it? Are you formally teaching them anything, or they're just hanging around the sets?
Right now, it's more about playing. It's about playing. But they do take classes. So they have started taking classes, not with us, because they don't want us to teach them anything.
Oh,
no, thank you. Don't help
The story
me.
of every parent.
Exactly. But they are interested in it. So they're, slowly just taking those classes to have a little bit of discipline, but nothing very intense yet.
How has parenthood changed y'all?
I truly loved performing as an artist, and I was really, I keep saying I'm blessed, but I really am blessed with the family I was surrounded with, and then Lisanna, really my love and life, and I would say blessings just keep mounting up. Really, the twins came, and it's kind of like it was just like the next thing that was just wonderful in our lives now together. So it's hard to say what is next or. So
let's talk about your beautiful circus dream. When did the first seeds of that start floating around? When did that come to your mind? Like, okay, you know what do we do now? We've done everything. Like you said, you achieved a lot of the potential acts that you wanted to do way before you had planned or imagined. You felt that you've done it all in terms of the books. You've checked most of the boxes, aerials and gym on the floor and everything else. You have your little beautiful babies, and so when did you decide that it's time, and why did you think of having a school?
We had discussed, it was pre-pandemic even, so we were both still traveling. So him mostly in Europe and me on the world tour with Taruk. And we had the conversations of, yes, one day in the future we would love to open up a school, and people go into teaching more of like a side profession, or they want to share their knowledge. I think starting a school in itself is a different endeavor, because it encompasses more. It's not just teaching one or two students or one or two classes.
It's not the
a whole comprehensive
neighborhood
realm.
class kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was a conversation that we had where we still were performing, still reaching for our dreams and traveling. And I think when the pandemic hit, it brought us both home. I was already home, but then nobody was working. The show's closed. Okay. So his show closed. He came home. He was in Paris at the time. He barely got out in time before
they closed the airport.
Yeah. So he came home, and we took the next few months enjoying each other, which we hadn't got to do.
Right.
We were always traveling.
Yeah, we had bought a home that we never lived in.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, during the pandemic, it was very hard for some people, and for us, it forced us in a good way to spend time with each other and not have other responsibilities. And to be a little bit more relaxed about the fact that we weren't performing, because no one was performing, no one was working, you couldn't do anything about it. So
there was no reason to feel guilty either.
Yeah, or no reason to
no
push,
FOMO,
or
as they say, no FOMO kind of thing.
Yeah, no FOMO.
It was, we were really lucky in a sense, because I knew that I was going to retire from performing. So coming home because the pandemic was like perfect. I was like, we gotta stay home now.
Yeah.
So it was really like, okay, let's
It was meant to be.
Right, it was meant to
and I
be.
was working at CA at the time, so I knew when it closed, okay, well, if it opens up again, I'll probably have the chance, hopefully, to return. So we were a little bit relaxed. Like, I think we're okay.
Now, about 3 months into it of pizza and wine, we're like,
we said,
what should we be doing
Yeah,
now?
like now I think
Let's
it's time to do
good.
something. And we had discussed, like I said, having a circus school and sharing our experience and our knowledge. And we had the opportunity to open up our program within a gym. He had a good friend that owned a gym at the time, and they were just opening up the gym with classes, with masks, with restrictions. And we spoke to her, and she offered for us to go ahead, you know, you can take part of this space and open up your program and start your classes here. And that's how we got our start. It was in August of 2020.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So
What was it like?
during the pandemic.
What's the mission? What is the mission of your circus school?
So I think our motives of opening the school have changed just a little bit. I think the twins have a lot to do with it now, because originally when we would speak about traditional circus or what circus really means for people, we really noticed that the Las Vegas didn't really know much more but Cirque du Soleil.
Absolutely.
So one of the motives was to really bring to the city more knowledge of what traditional circus is, and why even Cirque du Soleil has a show also too, because it has a lot to do with that. So that was kind of a big motive of, you know, we get to travel to go see the shows. We get to still be talking to the people that we know, stay within the loop of circus, and now we get to try to pass that on forward to other people, the knowledge of that, you know. And
Traditional circus, do you think there is still interest in that? Do people still buy tickets to come for traditional circus? Vegas may be a different story, but in general?
In general, yes. I mean, circus outside of the country, outside of the states, it's there's still a lot of red carpet treatment to go to a show. People still dress, and the shows are sold out after sold out after sold out. Of
and
course,
the
there's
same
the times,
acts of the trapeze and the
different
acrobats
shows.
and
Yeah,
the clowns
absolutely.
and
Yeah, I
everything
mean,
else.
there's just so much to offer outside of the United States, really. And we're really excited and really happy, for example, now that you have Ringling, Barnum, and Bailey that came back, which was the biggest show on earth, right? So that came back. So people are still wanting to go see the shows, even though, you know, a big part of the downhill of the shows was because there was animal issues.
Right.
Animals.
The safety and the protection.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was you can talk for both sides of that, but the traditional circus is coming back pretty good in the States here. And now they're also trying to get those festivals running quite a bit. There is a circus festival that's been going on at my family's circus that tours the country, and it's doing really well. So it's bringing a lot more awareness to circus, international circus out there. And the show that they run, they've been bringing a lot of European artists as well into their show performing, and they work 11, 12 months out of the year. They do a full year run. So if it's sustaining, then it must be doing well. I think circus is kind of a comeback right now.
Please tell us, what is it that you want to achieve through the school?
Like he was saying, from traditional circus is family oriented, and I want our clientele to feel that from us. It's not our job, it's not our company, it's our life, and it's our lifestyle. We were just mentioning it is a lifestyle. So it's what we do and it's what we love, and we want to hand down that passion to our students. Like I said before, it's been an honor to have these experiences in life and these travels, all because of Circus Arts. Circus Arts has brought me to all of these places that I never thought I'd travel to. Saudi Arabia, never thought I'd go. And yet there I
you went to
was.
Saudi as well?
There I was
amazing.
performing in front of a crowd that I could just see their eyes, but they were smiling. And like, wow, it's incredible. So I want the kids to understand that you can make this a life and a lifestyle, and it's a beautiful life, and it's an honor. And all of the attributes that come from taking classes and from the discipline and working hard, you can attribute that to the rest of your life, whether you become a performing artist or not. And whatever you do, you're going to apply that to your life. So when you come with us and you feel the love that we have for what we do, you're going to take that on to whatever our students end up going on to. And I hope the students that come through our school and our program will remember that most with us. And remember those times.
Any interesting feedback or comments that you've got from any of your students or their parents which you'd like to share with us, which made you feel redeemed in your decision to start a circus school?
Well, there was one shining moment. We have classes for kids with disabilities, so we call it our All Abilities class. One event that we were invited to be a part of was at the Tony Hsieh Theater downtown, and it was with FEAT, which is a nonprofit for families with autism or that are affected by autism. So they put on the show. They invited us. They said, "Vaya, come and be a part of it." So I opened it up to all our classes. In the All Abilities class, we had one kid join us, and when he was in rehearsals, he had a few parts in the show. He had some acrobatics that he did. In rehearsals, he was a little bit timid. Okay, I'm supposed to be here now. Okay, I do my forward roll here. Okay. And his mom was like, "Okay, it's going good so far." When we got to the show and the lights shone on his face, I feel like he lit up and was this superstar. He just like exploded onto the stage, and he did all his tricks with like extra gusto. And his mom came to me afterwards and she was crying, and she said, "I never thought my son would ever do something like that."
Wow.
And we were able to provide that family that opportunity that I hope sits in their heart and in their mind for years to come. And just say, wow, like look at what he was able to do. And the fact that we were able to help guide him to do that. So it made me feel honored.
Giving them some avenue to express themselves and
in whatever way that may be.
That's so beautiful.
What made you decide a circus school for your child and this particular circus school?
Well, I love that they just incorporate so many different aspects of movement, and it's really a well-rounded program. So it's really great for boys and girls and all ages. And I've actually connected with them through an autism charity that I work with, because they do a lot of work with nonprofits. And they've done a couple of events for us. So that's how I connected, and then I thought it would be a great thing for my kid to try, and now he loves it. What I love about this program is it lets the kids be kids, but still learn things that strengthen them, that teach them discipline, that teach them how to work together, and they build friendships. Even if they choose not to do it in the future, it's going to benefit them in other ways.
So great personality building.
Yeah, and it really is a positive environment, and everybody is welcome here. So.
And we have one of our students that is just turned 18 now. She's been training with us for a few years, and she is fresh, ready to start her career, and we're able to guide her through kind of every experience. Oh, you're gonna apply to this company? Okay, let me help you draft that email, and let's send it to them like this. We can send this headshot. So being able to help her start her career, I mean, I hope she's performing in 10 years and she comes back to us and said, look where I am, and because of how you helped me begin, I'm now here living my dream.
Yeah, actually Renee and I had an opportunity to meet with her.
Maddie, yes.
And she was all praise for you. And she was so excited to be at that juncture where she's now auditioning. Mm-hmm. So, and I think you might actually be feeling like a parent more than a teacher.
Yes, yeah, I'm like a little bit mama bear with her, I want to help her in every way and guide her. She's honestly like almost like our daughter. She helps babysit our kids. She'll come and stay at the house, and we always tell her, if you're in Vegas, because she actually lives in California and she comes to Vegas.
And that is quite a commitment, right? Yes. 4 hours of commute every week.
Yeah, and so she just and now that
years.
she's driving herself, that's all on her. She needs to plan her day. And so we always say, if you need to stay with us, you can stay at our house, and she'll babysit the kids. And she's like a third daughter to us.
Particular anecdote you'd like to share about her mentoring, which has kind of really changed your perspective about stuff?
She's really like a second mom to me.
The training or the academy or even the craft.
Yeah, so with all of her experience, she's guided me to where I am now, and we still have so much more to go. But I love being with her every day because she has her own kids, and you can see them running around and
all over the place.
Yeah, and it's kind of the same thing with me. Like, I spend the night at their house most weekends, and I babysit for them. So she's really like a second mom. Like there's a special bond that we have.
And if I were to ask you, how would you describe this place to somebody else outside? How would you describe this place and say that there's this place I go to, not as a circus academy, but this place where I go to, which is my go-to place for Vegas? How would you describe it?
I would probably tell them it's my escape. Like, if I come here, I'm focused and I don't have to worry about anything else. I don't have to worry about what's happening out in the world, and make sure that I can stay focused here.
because all of the other thoughts, they leave your head. You don't have to worry about it. You're supposed to be focused and making sure that you're trained. The biggest goal is to perform in Paris. They have a really big circus out there.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's the big goal.
Which one?
Bouglione.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, so that's the ultimate goal. But for now, we have some more festivals and just fun jobs around Vegas and California, all that kind of fun stuff.
But this is your career path.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Who would think that jumping around hoops can actually become your
right,
career?
Jumping through hoops, but it's true.
Absolutely.
So what do you wish you knew then that you know now? What would you tell your younger selves?
Oh, then like as if we were kids?
Well, starting out in the business, what do you wish you knew then that you know now?
I think it's a slow process to get together for the parents to understand where we want this to go, basically.
To understand our vision.
I think that's been the difficult part in a way.
And what is your vision?
Well, like she explained right now, to be able to have seen that boy on the stage all lit up, in a sense, like we're retired, but we don't really feel that because we're still trying to pass that feeling. It's all about this feeling that we've been living. And so being able to see that, meaning all the hard work we've done in our past, and now we're opening the doors, trying to get people to learn or to see that they could live in that sense and be able to travel and to be a performer, an artist in any kind of way, and get that sense that just really being able to be passionate for something, right?
And also to have the confidence
Yes.
that sometimes it takes a while to learn that confidence. And we want to help them build that because we see what it can give you in return. And the moment of I'm completely there 100%, you can't teach that. They will discover that for themselves.
And it also doesn't come overnight.
Exactly, and they will discover that hopefully through the opportunities that we provide through our school, they will find that feeling. Like you ask, a race car driver, why do you drive? And they answer it's that feeling of being on your own, and that it's a little bit similar of you were there and nothing else matters, and you see the lights in your face, and you have that moment of wow, look what I'm able to do right now.
Yeah.
And almost a moment of I never thought I'd be able to do this. I still say that. so from the boy who's just doing a forward roll on stage saying, I never thought my son would do that,
Yeah.
to me in a Cirque du Soleil show looking at the light saying, I never thought I would be able to do this. It's the same feeling no matter on what level you're at.
Yeah.
So just bringing it down more to basics. When you put together a curriculum for your program, did you put all these aspects in it, different forms of your format? How are you going to disseminate all this stuff in terms of discipline and getting your confidence in place, getting over your fear, not to mention actually doing all the physical stuff in gymnastics? Did you kind of think of all these factors, and did you have a model in place for that?
Throughout my years of training and experience in shows, I've been able to create something that is guiding them on every level. They're learning the discipline, they're learning the strength and flexibility, the physicality of what they need, the technique, which is extremely important. But how do you present that? How do you have the confidence to be up on stage? How do you do what you've learned in class now in front of a group of people, which is a different level. And so I'm trying to teach that from an early age. I have a class that's called my Cuties class, from 4 to 6 years old, and already they're starting to do a show and tell of what they're learning in class.
Aww.
And I had a student, the first time for her show and tell, she ran out crying. Okay, it's okay. No rush in this, right? She's 4. She keeps coming to class, she keeps working hard, and now she's asking me to go first. I'll go first. I'll show first. So she's built that confidence through what she's doing in class, which will hopefully go on to her in school, her in her first job, her in life in general. Right. So to see that and knowing that there's that growth within that every kid can achieve is something that I think we're trying to grasp and see as our vision in representing what we've done in our life with the community around us in a family-oriented sits. Good again. And arch. Beautiful. Big flare legs. Good. Do one more decline. Maybe that's the reach of the arm out. Bigger toe down. Good. Slide.
Quiet. So what has, from applause to peace and quiet to parenting to mentoring, what's the definition of success now for you?
That's a very deep question.
It's a very good question. The definition of success is to be able to sit back and take a look at what your life is now and be at peace with it at all times, whether it's chaotic or whether it's calm, or whether you're on stage under the lights or you're training, sweating, looking horrible. Wherever you are in life, that you can sit back and say, this is what I want to do.
And this is what I've always wanted to do.
And this is what I will continue doing.
Okay, thank you, Lisanna. Thank you, Adam, for all the wonderful, stories and anecdotes and beautiful journeys of your life that you have shared with us. And if there is anybody else, if anybody wants to reach out to you for your circus information, how do they do that? Please tell the
Yes,
viewers.
please. So you can follow the action, of course, on Instagram. We have our little videos of what our classes are like, what we're doing for our latest project or event coming up. So that's VIA, V-I-A, which stands for Vazquez Integral Arts. The website you can go to is artsvia.com, artsvia.com. You can search Vazquez Integral Arts and you'll find us, and keep up with our latest projects and videos, because we're constantly in the community trying to see how we can help our kids thrive within the community.
So, Adam, Lisanna, what is your current adventure?
Actually, we're getting ready to do for the second time, an international circus festival in Las Vegas. It's held by Maxime Popozov, a good friend of mine. And this year I'm part of that committee. We're able to take our school right now, to take our kids and be able to do the opening for that show. So it's a huge leap for
And
us
when is
too.
this happening?
This will be October 24th, the 23 to 27, those days.
End of
Yeah.
October this year.
End of
this year?
October this year, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
So it'll
So
be
we have
great
something to look
in a
forward to.
circus tent. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. It'll be held in a circus tent. 18, I think maybe 19 international jury members that are owners of these amazing shows around the world. And we'll be able to bring our kids from the school and do an opening. So this is our next right now coming up.
Is a huge step in terms of you taking your students to go to the festival to showcase their talent. How do you feel about that?
We've been going to festivals here. We've taken one of our students internationally. We've been doing community events, trying to get more involved in the community and give our kids the opportunity to perform and be on stage. Because it's the one thing that's the goal, is to be on stage. So to try to get them to do it from a young age is great. I'm excited for this one because we get to be in a circus tent. The kids get to be in the tent, perform in the tent, in front of this international jury panel. And some of them maybe will be 4 years old, 5 years old, already going on stage. So for me, that's special. I started my career much later in life. And so for the kids to already have that performing opportunity at a young age is going to be great.
It's great
I think
exposure.
it's very special for the kids.
Yeah.
It's the opportunity.
And
It's
for their parents.
It's a tremendous opportunity for them to take part of. And for us, we're very happy to provide that for them.
And how many children are you taking with you?
I think it's gonna depend on how we put it all together, but it could be anywhere between 5 to 20 kids, I would say.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a big.
Yeah,
And
we're
I
trying
think
to
in
incorporate
many
that.
ways that's the strength of the school, because not many schools can offer that kind of a platform, because it's only coaching and then you go figure out and you look for opportunities to perform on your own, or at best the school will have something within the school, but you are actually taking them out into another professional circus environment and getting them to showcase their
Right.
their talent and your training.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And
yeah.
we want to highlight the fact that we are entertaining. We don't want to focus so much on competition and festivals, yes, are a competition, but I want our kids to understand that we are entertainers at the same time, and
That's
we're doing it
brilliant.
because we love it, not that we need medals or places. And it's just the love of being on stage that is so special for us. So we wanted to share that with our kids.
Fantastic. I think the word that you use, circus arts performance, entertainment, lifestyle, I think these are like the buzzwords in your entire, lives journey so far.
And family, we
And
love that the
family,
families are
and
there.
community. These are the words, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
On that beautiful note, it's a wrap on our episode 2 of Behind the Sins. Please like, comment, and share, and continue to follow us so that we can keep bringing you such beautiful journeys and stories going forward.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.